Hey there, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, well, thanks for stopping by. I'm just retrieving some of the ash that I cut down last time in the last video, and this is my ash pile. This isn't all of it, of course. This is just a decent sized pile. I had bought most of these logs from Logger Local, and I brought these up in the last video. It's just firewood stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back and retrieve most all of it, not all of it, but most of it. And this one, you can see it is really crooked. I'm just going to turn that into firewood. And I showed that the moisture content on these logs right here, it's like between 22 and 26%, and 22 and 26% is pretty good considering, you know, wintertime logging ash. There's no sap in the trees. That makes life a little easier when you're turning it into firewood. And there is a lot of really nice lumber, a lot of saw logs in there. So we'll keep going. I'm gonna head back down in. I'm gonna move these out of the way, then I'll head back down in and grab the rest of them. So this guy right here, this one, that's really straight. That's the butt log, and that is going to be a saw log. And then this log over here, that could be a saw log. It does have a little sweep in it, but that's 16 feet. Same with this one. That's pretty long. These here, these are all firewood. So even that branch, actually I thought I cut it, but anyway. So yeah, I'll move these now. So I have this big saw log here that I pulled down, that I pulled up here. This is a big one. That's probably 26, 25 across maybe. And it does have a lot of taper because it has a big bell where it flares out to the ground. But this side, I mean, that's still, you know, probably 18 or 20, probably 20 closer actually. So I would put this saw log, this one right here, I'll put this saw log over there with that one. I'm gonna put that one with it, and when the log buyer comes, if he doesn't like it, that's fine. I'll just cut it up with firewood. But usually they'll take them, but at a lower price. And I'd rather than take a lower price from the saw, you know, logs, I'd rather just turn it into firewood. So if you are ever skidding trees, you don't have the proper slip hooks, like this guy. See, that's a pretty good hook. If you just have regular hooks, the trick is, so that they don't fall off, the trick is to actually take your chain. I'll show you. Let's see if I can do this. All right, so just take your chain. See how this is just a regular, this is a regular hook. If I hook on here, there's a pretty good chance as I drag it, it's gonna fall off. But if I hook through and hook back onto the chain like this, okay, it creates a loop so that as I pull on that, it tightens it up. And I can tighten this down to the log. See that? And it'll tighten up as I skid. It's not a perfect solution, but it's definitely a good one. So and now I gotta unhook the chains. So here we go. Just a cool little tip. I actually learned that from my oldest brother, so thank you, Al. He also taught me a lot of swear words. Total side note, that's a lot of logs for this little tractor. down and at least grab one or two more. And then I gotta call it quits for the day. That's cherry. Pretty rotten. It'll be alright. Broke off. Yeah, we'll get it out of here either way. Probably not much good. There is, let's see, a bunch of ash right here. That one's pretty big. That's probably, this one right here, it's probably 18 across. Then there's one right there. That's more like 14. And you see there's one right here. That one's really crooked. It's pretty much all firewood. And then see this blue line, that's my property line. That's the neighbors. I'd like to keep them happy. So there's this little one right there. And then there's a bigger one right there. That's probably 14, 15. So like I said a couple of videos ago, there's ash everywhere. For now, it'll all be gone. So I guess we don't have a choice but to deal with it. I'm taking the harder stuff now because the ground is frozen. I can come back here in the summertime, but we definitely would not want to be back here in the spring. It's not wet, but this is all shaded, so when the frost comes out of the ground, we didn't get a lot of snow this year, so when the frost comes out of the ground, this is going to be really muddy. And these chains, they're not perfect. They're not ice chains or anything, but the hill up there is it's pretty steep, and I'm having a little trouble getting up it now, but I don't want to keep spinning it up because as soon as you spin it off, it's like glass. So I'll get these hooked up and get out of here for the day. So I had to clean up a little bit of that. Take my earplugs out. I also wear earplugs underneath my muffs on my helmet. you know, because my daily job will make me deaf. I'll bring that back down, dump it in the woods. Eventually, I'd like to get back in. We have a sugar house, and eventually I'd like to get back into making maple syrup. And we have a wood-fired arch. And one thing I learned from my grandfather is ash limb wood is some of the best wood you could have for firing up an arch. It burns hot, burns quick, and there's plenty of it for now. All right, I just want to show you something. If you're not from this part of the world, if you're from overseas or down south or whatever, where you don't have ash trees, we're losing our ash trees pretty quickly here in the eastern Adirondacks. A lot of the parts of this New York State they've already lost all of them. What happens is the emerald ash borer lands on the tree, and in the bark these have these little grooves. It's very tight grooves, but what they'll do is they'll land on the tree and they'll lay eggs in that group. They burrow into the tree and go into the cambium layer and just absolutely destroy the tree. Well, you can imagine if you have, let's just say 50 or 10 of these emerald ash borer land on this tree, it doesn't stand a chance. So I'll show you, this is what it looks like when it's healthy, right? This tree you think is beautiful, right? It's healthy. If you look closely, you'll see evidence of the emerald ash borer. The term is called blonding. The trees that are normally gray with a little bit of green tint to them, when the emerald ash borer first gets to the tree goes into like a defense mode, and the tree will actually start to shed the thicker parts on the outside. That is called blonding because obviously it goes from dark to light like a deer does in the summertime. So after the emerald ash borer has attacked the tree, the outer layer will fall off, and then there's a few layers, but the outer layer, which serves the most purpose for protection to the tree, falls off. Well, then it's just a matter of time, because then you have the soft bark, the cambium layer underneath, and they just chew right through it, and of course there's nothing left of the tree. So I'll show you, this tree looks perfectly healthy, and I'm going to try to see if I can zoom in. Of course it's snowing again. I'm going to see if I can zoom in. You may not, you could see that little thing right about there. See that little scar? Well, that little scar is actually not a scar. That's where the cambium layer has been shed, and the emerald ash borer is in there doing its work right now. And of course, I would like to go in there and shoot them, but I can't do that. So I'm going to try to get something out of these trees. There's another huge ash tree right over here that it's easy picking, so no point in getting it now. I can get it at any point because the ground is flat right here. See? This guy right here, or girl, I don't know what it is, but that's a pretty big tree. That's probably 20 plus at the butt. And I don't know if you can see. It's a biggie. But just like all the ash trees, these little branches right here are all dying. And over there's a few, and then way over there's a couple, but there are buds on this tree, which mean that it's still alive, but I mean, it's only a matter of time. The tree that I just pointed out that has the emerald ash borer is right there. So it's really not that, it's gonna have emerald ash borer in it. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. Guys and girls, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you being here, and there's plenty more to come. If the emerald ash borer isn't where you live and you have ash trees, just a matter of time. Later.